Blast me to Bermuda! It's time for the Mad Merlins unboxing of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Delivery 12. Hello and welcome back to another Mad Merlins unboxing. So today we have Delivery 12 of Imperium, and this is a pretty looked forward to delivery, but not as looked forward to as what the next one will be. That is going to be a really special delivery. But let's dive in and see what we got. So we have issue 43 with paint and a brush. Issue 44 with a set of ruins. 45 with our first of 3 Knot Deck Wraiths. And the issue I'm most looking forward to opening and building, issue 46, Adepta Sororitas Reinforcements Pack. So that's going to be really good. So we'll have a closer look at that in just a sec. Right, let's go through our issues, and we'll start at the beginning with 43. So the paint we get is Stormhost Silver. It's a nice bright silver, and we'll be using that for a lot of edge highlighting on our models. And to help with the edge highlighting, we also get a small layer brush. Not too bad a condition, much better than the last small layer I had from Mortal Realms. That was a little knackered straight out of the pack. But let's take a look quickly through the issue. So we learn about 1,000 Suns, new rules for the Adepta Sororitas, and a new mission. Ah, sweet, we got our name generator for our Adepta Sororitas units. Plus heroic titles and unit titles. We get corrupted engrams for our Necrons, for all our characters. We learn about 1,000 Suns in a faction faction page, the Scourge Stars in a new war zone, and we learn all about highlighting. So, like I said, we're going to be edge highlighting quite a lot of our models. So, some tips on how to get a steady motion to your brush. So, bracing your wrists against the table. I like to plant my elbows personally. And then brush towards yourself where possible, using the side of your brush. For difficult to reach areas, use the tip of your brush. And then it goes into basically what the areas we're going to be covering. So a lot of the Necrons, so you've got all the armor panels, both the Cryptek armor shade, the silver and the gold, all getting the Stormhost Silver. Anks are highlighted with Knot Deck Alloy. And that's a gallery of our finished Necrons. Looking really good now. And then for our Space Marines, so we got Nuln Oil Macragge Blue touching up details with recess shading all the armor panels. Macragge Blue to tidy up any areas you spilt. Then we're using Stormhost Silver to highlight all our gold trim, including the Iron Halo, icons and trinkets, etc. We just dry brush. And we got the back vents, buckles, swords, and all the details on the pistols, etc. And there we have our finished Ultramarine gallery. So for the Adepta Sororitas rules, we've got the Sacred Rites. So this allows the Adepta Sororitas to perform specific bonuses throughout the battles, much like the canticles, etc. of the Adeptus Mechanicus. So for example, Number 1, the Hand of the Emperor. While this sacred rite is active, add 1 to advance rolls and charge rolls for that unit. So we got a choosing or rolling. You can either choose to see which one gets activated each turn, or you can roll, and you keep note there on what you have. So let's see this is here. Explains how to determine sacred rites. Select the Sororitas and provide some examples. One of the more complex sacred rites. Read the tutorial before playing your next mission. So sacred rites are determined before the start of the battle. Sororitas player can opt to choose a single rite, or they can roll 2 dice, gaining 2 sacred rite abilities. Although having 2 abilities may sound tempting, some abilities work better with specific units, and choosing one may prove to be better. So that's what you get. So it's either 1 or 2, depending on if you want to roll and see if the Emperor blesses you, or just to choose. And then we got our new mission. Okay, moving on, we got issue 44. This isn't much of a special issue. It is the same ruins that we got in, I believe, issue 34. So that's our frame. Like I said, same frame that we got in a previous issue, but they're nice models anyway. So in this issue, we build and paint the terrain, we learn about the white scars, and we got a tutorial for placing terrain. So that's interesting. So we've got a theatre of war, the holy ground, so an Adeptus Ministorum stronghold for the Sisters of Battle to fight over. So you've got 3 districts that you're fighting through, and you record your victors there. So we've got the white scars, masses of the lightning assault. The Rain of Blood, more background for the Adeptus Sororitas. And then we got building our ruins, so our small ruin and our larger ruin there. And yet painting is just the same as the previous one. That's kind of expected, but a little bit of a downer. I was expecting perhaps something a little different. So it'd be nice to see Mephisto red for the walls with black for the windows or something. I might do that myself anyway, just to make a little bit of a difference to the terrain in my collection. I'll wait and see what I decide to do. But there's not much that we haven't already done. The only thing is we are dry brushing the platform and any of the silver pipes with Stormhost Silver. Other than that, everything is the same as the previous 2 paint guides. So we've got a tutorial for placing terrain here. Some key things to think about: having a variety, objective placement, lines of fire, etc. There's some examples of setting up terrain. So balanced terrain, having it in a sort of a circle with a central piece, or thematic, having it all to one side, so you've got a defender's area and then the attackers coming through from this angle. So we have the advanced rules for strategic reserves, and all about placing units in reserves and how much it costs in points, plus a tutorial just to help you out. So that's always handy. And then we have a new battle. So we've got the Space Marines going up against the Necrons. So yeah, nice mixture of Imperial units again. We've got the Space Marines, Tech Priest, and Skitarii. And then it's just the Necrons on the other side. That was a pretty good issue. So next we've got our first Canoptek Wraith in issue 45. And we've got a fold out. So this is our frame. I've never been the biggest fan of the Canoptek Wraiths. They weren't what I was used to for Wraiths when they got updated. I'm much a fan now of the Ophidian Destroyers, which are a little bit better and more reminiscent of those old Wraiths from back in 3rd and 4th edition. Still a rather menacing looking model and pretty big. Can't wait to get him built and painted. And they are on a 50mm round base, which is much better. When they first came out, they were on 40s, and that was a little on the small side for them. It's nice to see that they've been given a little bit of an update on that. So we got facts about the Order of the Glorious Heart, a fold out for the different Xenos races, and rebuilding and painting our Canoptech Wraith. Of course, I'll be using a Saltec Dynasty paint guide, which the Warhammer community team did back when they first released contrast paints, and they did a classic method one day and a contrast method the next day. So here we have the Canoptech Wraith battle record, Swift and Deadly Hunters. We are going to end up with 3 of them. So we got a trans-dimensional beamer and a particle caster. So I'm guessing we're going to be building 2 of the particle casters and 1 with the beamer. But it's up to you really how you want to build them. We got weapons and war gear name charts for our Adeptus Sororitas. So ranged weapons and melee weapon tables. Background on the Valorious Heart. Sisters Hospitaller. And we also got the Argent Shroud there. Then we got a bit of faction background about the Adeptus, the Astra Militarum, so the Imperial Guard, as they are more commonly known. Some of the more famous regiments, my personal favourite, the Vostroyan Firstborn. Fan favourite, the Death Corps Kriegs. Classic Catachan and Cadian. The Armageddon Steel Legion, the Mordian Iron Guard. And a rather newer regiment. So this is the Guardsman Kymni of the Missaman 114th, the Shrouded ones. So they look more like a guard regiment on a Forge World sort of thing. They got very heavy respirators and such. But yeah. Now we're moving on to building our Wraith. So it mentioned, got a few things here. Be careful with clipping. Don't glue your guns, they just post on, which is pretty cool, so they can move up and down. And we got a warning about using the nodes. So when attaching the spherical nodes on the side of the body, clip them out and attach one at a time, as they all look very similar, but they have to go in specific places. So here we have our build guide, all the different stages we go through, attaching our gun, gluing in our nodes. And we got a choice of how we want to attach our claws. We can either have them in a more scything position or a straight position. And the same for these. You can also clip off the small piece of plastic highlighted in red, which will allow you to pose the claws at different angles, which would be pretty cool. That'd be one of the things I'd suggest to do anyway. It gives you a little bit more of a variety to your models. And we attach the larger claws there. You do also have the options for the whip coils. Personally, they are a fairly fragile component. I would just use these and say that they are the coils just retracted. But it's up to you if you want to equip them. They do have some in-game benefits, so it's entirely up to you how you go about them. So that's weird. It says about the trans-dimensional beamer, but it shows the particle caster again. So that wasn't very well thought out. On to painting our Wraith. So it'll be much the same as all our previous Canoptech creatures. So we're painting Rune of Brass on the armor panels, giving it 3 coats of Abaddon black as it's majority black underneath. Cryptic armor shade gloss, canoptic alloy, Nuln oil. Micro flesh shade, Stormhost silver, edge highlighting again, so take your time with this stage. Then basing our models. And there we have our finished Canoptic Wraith, looking pretty good there. So then we got our data sheet for the Wraiths. So we've got shooting weapons, the particle caster or the trans-dimensional beamer, the vicious claws or the whip coils. So the whip coils you get 2 hit rolls instead of 1 for each attack. Vicious claws are a little bit better, they got +2 strength, -2 rend and R2 damage, so that's not too bad to dish out a little bit more hurt than the coils. Coils just give you the chance of doing a few more hits. So Wraiths can phase through terrain, so they can just ignore it for all movement purposes. And we've got a tutorial about their special abilities, so they can fall back, shoot and still charge in the same turn. And we got a Canoptic Infestation, so we have Canoness, the Tech Priest, and the Mechanicum side of the collection, versus Technomancer, loads of different Canoptic creatures, and a Tombblade. And for our fold out, so we got all about the different alien factions. So the Orcs, Tau, the Tyranids, who are rumoured for 10th edition. All the different empires, the different Tau sects. And on the back we got the 2 halves of the Eldari, the light and the dark. There we go. And last but not least, the issue we've all been waiting for, the Adeptus Sororitas reinforcements. So we got a lot of bases in here. So let's have a look at the frame up close a little bit quickly. So we got our 2 Seraphim here and here, our 3 Battle Sisters in quite a few different components. So yeah, 2 Seraphim are there and there. Then we got Battle Sisters there and there. We got Arapentia with her massive chainsword and a single Arco-Flagellant there. Good thing about these kits is they all have the option of either a bear or helmeted head, so you will have a few spares to use on different other kits if you wish to. I used one of the sister heads on a Stormcast Eternal Castigator, the female torso. The Adeptus Sororitas head fitted just perfectly and gave a bit of variety. Yeah, each model has 2 heads, so you can get a good choice of variety. And we have a lot of bases, so we get 5 32mm bases, so these are for the Seraphim and the Battle Sisters. We also get a set of flight stands for the Seraphim. We get a 25mm, which is for the Arco-Flagellant, and a 28mm for the Arapentia. I'm sure the build guide will give us more details on that. So here we go with issue 46. So we get 7 miniatures in this issue. Reinforcements of the Adeptus Sororitas, a new story, and new rules and mission. So we got our battle record here for our Battle Sister squad. So you got Artificer, Crafted Stormbolter, Minerstorm Flamer, the Simulacrum, Chaplet Ecclesiarchus, and the battle record, so we can name and have an origin chart for all our characters. So our Superior, Banner Bearer, and our 2 special weapons. Miracle Dice Tracker, so record the first time this unit uses each value of the miracle dice and what they used it for. Rules for the miracle dice come in a future issue. So we've got our squad name and their specialism. And we've also got a battle record for the Seraphim. So the Seraphim wield double pistols. The Superior has a plasma pistol and a power sword, and they come with jump packs. So again, we've got, as it's only a small squad, we can name each of them individually. Squad name and their strategy, and again, the Miracle Dice tracker. So building. So each model is only a few parts. So we got 5 parts for each of the sisters there. 6 parts here because we've got an extra arm to attach and an extra body. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts for this one. 8 if you attach the optional pistol holster. Then the Seraphim, 2 halves of the body, plus an extra leg, and a backpack and 1 arm. Plus the heads. Then the Seraphim get attached to the stands. What I'm probably going to do is leave the backpacks off just so I can paint around a lot easier. Maybe glue the backpack straight to the flight stand and then glue the sisters on afterwards. But base sizes, yes, you got 28 for the Arapentia, 25 for the Flagellant, excuse me, and 32 for the sisters. Then we got our Arapentia. So as you go over a few components, just be careful, the flowing purity seals could possibly snap off. They are fairly thin components. And then again, we have the Argo Flagellant with quite a few thin components. The flails on his arm are fairly fragile. I have so far, touch wood, not broken mine, but they came close once or twice. I think the only one I did damage, I think one of the Arapentia. Not too sure, I can't remember, it was a long time ago I built them. But detailing our sororitas, so we paint our battle sisters much as we did with the Canoness. So we are painting corn red on the inside of the cloak and Mephiston red on the outside. Giving our models 3 coats of Abaddon black straight off, obviously. Mephiston red on the eyes, Mornfang brown on the belts and pouches. Lead Belcher on all our metal details. Corax white on our helmet, our beads, prayer beads, our Imperial symbol, any rocks on any of the models that have rocks. Screaming pink and Rakoff flesh for our purity seals. Then we are Agrax Earthshade, the rocks and the purity seals. Null oil on all the different reds, browns, silvers, and the whites. Then we're picking out all the other details with Retributor armor, Reikland Flesh Shade, highlighting with Stormhost Silver, and basing our models with Astrogranite and Null Oil. Argo Flagellant and Arapentia are painted a little differently, so we're giving them 3 coats of Corax White, picking out all the details with Retributor armor, and giving them an all-over shade with Reikland Flesh Shade. Then we're picking out all the silver details of Lead Belcher, Purity Seals, Grips, and the hood with Screaming Pink, Abaddon Black for the bodysuits, loincloths, and the whip coils here, as well as any pipes. Mephiston Red for small cables and the stim injectors, Rakoff Flesh for Purity Seals, Agrax Earthshade on the rocks on the base, and on the Purity Seal areas, Null Oil on everything else. Picking out Stormhost Silver on the highlights, then we're basing the same as usual, Astrogranite and Null Oil. And there we have our finished gallery, so if you need to remind yourself, check your work, here we have our finished models. And they are looking pretty good. Definitely going to be painting mine, obviously up to the full standard magazine shows, so I have to go back and edge highlight my Canoness now. But that's going to be an easy task. You never know, she might be showing how to do that in a future issue. So, battle rules-wise, we have Battle Sisters and Seraphim. Tutorials on the Angelic Strike and Angelic Visage, Sky Strike and Angelic Visage rules. And we have a new battle featuring the new Adeptus Sororitas units we got, and the Necrons. So we get Canoness, 3 Sisters, 2 Seraphim, and 3 Assault Intercessors. Then the Overlord, 2 Immortals, 2 Scarabs, and a Conoptic Wraith. So a bit of a mixed match sort of thing. It's more like a kill team game than an actual full army. But other than that, pretty cool. And a little look into the future. So 48, we get our Ruins, which is the same one we got with issue 31, I think it was, or 30. And then issue 47, we get 2 new paints, so Pink Horror and Wild Rider Red. So we'll be highlighting some of the Adeptus Sororitas and possibly the Adeptus Mechanicus stuff with these new colours. And Purity Seals, of course. So let's bring everything in for a final thoughts. So there we have Delivery 12. A rather jam-packed issue. We get some new terrain. Well, not new, it's the same as what we had in the previous delivery. We do get some nice new units though, so that's pretty good. Only a single paint, excuse me, but it's a much used paint throughout the collection, and we got some touching up for a lot of models to do, especially if you're painting your Necrons as the magazine shows. But for me, I won't be needing it for my Necrons, as I already have my method of painting my Necrons. But I will be using it to highlight my Sisters and my Adeptus Mechanicus when we come around to doing them. The small airbrush is much the same as all Games Workshop brushes. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. I'll be using it for my Get Started series, like a lot of my Conquest Imperium brushes I've been getting. I have my own ones for my own personal paint table, so I'm using those for painting my models. Final thoughts on the delivery. I think it is a pretty solid delivery. The Sisters are definitely the winners for me. The loser, I'd have to say the Wraith. I've never liked the kit, and I don't think I'm ever going to like the kit. I might like them in game, but they just don't have the same feel as having half Necron, half Serpentine creature body that the original race used to have. Which is why I prefer the Ophidian Destroyers over these guys. But, of course, I'm not going to sniff at awesome models. Yeah, some good background come through to read. Plenty of army building ideas. Got plenty of name tables and charts, which is always good to have for adding some life to our collection. But other than that, it's a good delivery, not the best, and definitely won't be the worst. We've had quite a few bad ones previously, and there's bound to be some not so good ones in future issues. But definitely the next delivery, which is 47, 48, 49, 50, that one is going to be a really good issue delivery, because there's some highly sought after models coming in that delivery. Can't wait for that. But what do you think about this delivery? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you have a favourite model out of the entire collection from this delivery? Personally, I don't have a single favourite model. I just do like all the old Sisters, the classic Sisters of Battle stuff. They are all pretty cool. So yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And I will see you for issue 31. It'll probably be a single video issue, as it's only a quick paint guide and not a lot that I'll be using. So we'll go through that and have the mission report as soon as possible. Then obviously 44, 45, and 46 will be more in-depth issues. And I can't wait to get round to those. But that's enough blabbering from me. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe if you don't already do so. Also, there's my links in the description down below, affiliate links, as well as my social medias. And that's that for that. And I will see you next time for more mad content. Goodbye.